We've just arrived at Terminal E in Boston's Logan International Airport for a Qatar Airways flight over to Doha on an Airbus A350-900. Qatar launched service to Boston just a few years back in July of 2020, a nice addition for Logan. They of course have an exceptional reputation in the airline world, billing themselves as the world's best airline. I haven't flown with them for quite a while now, so I'm excited to check out the service today. I love the design of the check-in hall here in Terminal E, although it can get quite swamped during busy hours. Not too bad this morning though. There are some comfortable places to sit down curbside if you find yourself with extra time, but let's go ahead and get check-in out of the way. The wait time for check-in is only about 10 minutes, and the process goes smoothly. Heading over to security, there's a short line, and that's pretty quick and efficient as well. There isn't much for food curbside at Terminal E, but airside we have a few nice options. Legal Seafoods is a good choice for seafood fans, and of course they're the kinds of shopping options that you'd expect to find at a large but not huge airport in the US. There were extensive renovations in Terminal E in 2023, with new gates and common areas added to accommodate increasing international flights. As a result, the terminal is feeling new and fresh. The growth in international flights here means that you can easily reach an expanding range of destinations from Boston. Here we can see our ride to Doha from the other end of the terminal. It's time to head over in that direction. We're leaving from gate E10 this morning, and boarding gets underway on schedule about an hour before departure. Our flight today is scheduled at over 11 and a half hours, departing Boston at 11:40 and arriving in Qatar at 6:25 a.m. local time the following day. The A350-900's economy section is in a 333 configuration. In economy, we have some seats in Qatar Airways' signature dark purple, but a bit toward the back, we'll find that the seats are in a gray fabric with a purple touch for the antimacassar. This will be my seat here, 37A toward the back. On the seat, there's a packaged fleece blanket, a pillow that's reasonably substantial for economy, some headphones, and a small amenity kit. I'm pleasantly surprised to see an amenity kit in economy, and we'll have a look at just what's in there in a minute. And later we'll try out those headphones too. A bit about the seat. Economy seats on this plane are 18 inches wide and with a pitch of 31 to 32 inches and a 6-degree recline. I'm about 6 foot tall and I had plenty of room. The headrest is vertically adjustable, but the wings on the side are fixed. Overall, I found the seats solidly above average in comfort. Before departure, the crew comes around with a refreshing towel, also known as a large Qatar-branded wet nap. All the staff are very friendly and professional, and I get the feel right away that they enjoy their job. Who knows if that's really the case, but the vibe is very pleasant, and that continues to be my impression throughout the flight. We push back about 10 minutes late at 11:50 a.m. The safety video highlights a few of the airline's more well-known destinations, with just a bit of Qatar thrown into the mix. The crew featured in the video have a decidedly Stepford Wives feel. I guess there's nothing wrong with this safety video, but I feel like it's somehow lacking a bit in personality. During taxi and takeoff, and later during landing, you can watch the view from external cameras mounted under the plane, either facing forward, backward, or down. I love this feature, although hazy conditions due to some wildfires in Canada mean not much to see after takeoff this time. Now that we're in the air, let's have a look at that amenity kit. It comes in a paper container, so not something you'd keep and reuse, but the paper is nicely textured and colorful with a design that evokes some architecture in Qatar as described here on the back of the package. Inside we see an eye mask that I'll add to my collection, a toothbrush and toothpaste, some earplugs, and a pair of socks. This little kit is really quite nice, and clearly not something you find in all economy class products. The crew come around with small packages of sour cream and chive pretzels, and a beverage of choice just about 45 minutes after takeoff. Personally, I don't love the pretzels, they have a sort of unnatural flavor, but the orange juice is good. let's have a look around the entertainment system before the first meal service gets underway. This is definitely one of Qatar's many strengths. The options to keep you busy are pretty vast, even for a long-haul flight, and the screen is large, crisp, and responsive. Their entertainment system is called Oryx, named after a kind of antelope that lives in Arabia, and it offers options numbering in the thousands. From the starting menu, you can choose between information about the flight, pairing your own device with the entertainment system, main entertainment options, children's entertainment. You can also opt to spend your time reading the Quran, learning more about Qatar Airways, and there's information here for connecting your device to Wi-Fi. There's an expansive array of movies with choices from around the world, and there's a solid range of TV shows arranged by genre. You also have a few options for the map, including an interactive mode for exploring the globe. I could probably do a whole video on this entertainment system because there's so much to explore, so suffice it to say, I found it excellent. On the Wi-Fi note, if you have a Qatar Airways frequent flyer account, you get 1 hour for free, and the speed is decent. You can also buy Wi-Fi for the entire flight for just $10 apparently, and this strikes me as a great deal. If you want to use your own device, there is also an international socket for charging, but that's down below and between the seats and rather hard to reach. Just under the entertainment screen are some buttons. To the right are a few for navigating the entertainment, and to the left are buttons for controlling the overhead light and calling the attendant. A nice little touch so that you don't have to reach for the ceiling. Just under those buttons, we've got some ports, and still down further, we have this other little ejectable device, but mine didn't want to eject today, so I can't tell you too much about it. To the right of that is a small coat hanger knob, a good place to hang your headphones, and speaking of which, let's go ahead and try those out. They are in over-the-ear design, and the quality seems reasonably good for economy class, although I think you'd ideally want to bring along noise-canceling headphones if you really plan to make good use of that entertainment system. The first meal service started at close to 1:30 p.m. Boston time, a little over more than an hour and a half after departure. The options are chicken with rice, beef with rice, or a vegetarian pasta dish. I'm going for the chicken, and along with it a white wine, which is a South African Sauvignon Blanc by Cape Dream. I'm no wine expert by any means, but I thought it was quite nice. My main course is a Thai yellow curry with jasmine rice. The food options are internationally inspired and reflect the airline's global imprint. I like this main course a lot. It's mildly spicy, perfect for me. If you're the kind of person that can't tolerate any spice, you'll probably want to check with the crew about the best option. But I found this one to be solidly above average for an economy main course, and the portion was reasonably good as well. However, I didn't really care for this side dish, which is a sort of grain salad, bulgur wheat I think, with some edamame and bits of vegetable. It sounds like something that I would like, but somehow it tastes quite bland and even almost a bit off. The dessert is like a nice mousse, but honestly I can't tell what flavor it is. There's a bread on the side, which is served warm, a nice touch. My takeaway for the first meal, excellent main course, nice wine, dubious side dish, average dessert. There are some spells of turbulence as we cross the Atlantic, but I'm able to get some work done. It's a bit cramped, but a small laptop barely fits on my lap with the person in front of me reclining. A larger laptop would be a problem. The sun sets as we're approaching Europe, which is around 4:30 in the afternoon Boston time. Let's head to the back and check out the rear lavatory. I have to say it's solidly one of the better economy class bathrooms I've ever been in the sky. It feels relatively spacious and the sink is quite large. There's some mood lighting down by your feet in the signature Qatar purple. I find a perfume spray by the sink, and there are some wet wipes available next to the toilet. There's even an adjustable air vent, which I don't think I've ever noticed in an airplane bathroom before. The floor is clean, and we're well into the flight at this point, so it looks like the crew are keeping an eye on things. Back in the seat, we're entering Europe over France, just north of La Rochelle. The crew turn on some dim mood lighting and come around with a snack and drink service. The snack is an Indian-inspired butter chicken pastry, served warm. Again, it's just a bit spicy, pretty nice for my taste, and there are vegetarian options as well. On that note, you can pre-order special meals on Qatar on the website or the app, and they offer a pretty impressive range of options. So if you have dietary restrictions or some preference, that's worth checking out in advance of your flight. With the chicken pastry, I'm ordering a coffee, not bad as far as airplane coffee goes, and they offer real half and half in small packets. I avoid artificial creamers, so that's a little detail that I really appreciate. Of course, the cup is branded, as is just about everything on this flight. Unfortunately, it's dark as we cross over Europe, but we do get this excellent view of Monaco at night, looking east toward the border between France and Italy. From there, we're headed down the western coast of Italy, and we pass right over the city of Naples and Mount Vesuvius. A bit later, as we reach the island of Santorini, lit up down below us, the crew come around with a choice of orange juice or other juice. I think it was cranberry. They don't let much time go by without some sort of service on this flight, and that really helps the time go by much more quickly. Further along, as we cross over the Sinai Peninsula, the mood lighting changes again, and the crew comes yet again with the breakfast service. We're in one of the last rows served, and they end up being out of the usual options, which normally could be quite a disappointment. All they have left is an Indian vegetarian meal, which in my case, I'm happy to try. It turns out that for me at least, this is a twist of luck. It ends up being one of my absolute favorite meals I've ever had in the sky, and that's even comparing against some business class flights. I'm curious whether they keep some extra vegetarian meals handy in case they're requested last minute, or whether there were some requested and those people ended up not traveling. Either way, it worked out great for me. It's a flavorful and mildly spicy dish with a side of fresh fruit. It comes with a heated roll and a bottle of water, and the dessert is a Greek-style yogurt with a berry topping. I'm having a coffee to go with it. As with the prior service, it's all served with metal silverware. Overall, a really excellent meal to close out the flight. Of course, there's a matter of personal taste here. I'm sure many would have wanted one of those original options, but for me, A+ for this Indian vegetarian dish. As we cross over the Arabian Peninsula, dawn is breaking in Doha. It quickly catches up with us, and we have these great views of the sunrise over Saudi. Soon we'll be starting our descent. I'll be connecting to a flight onto Baghdad, Iraq later today. If you want to check that out, you'll find the link on the screen toward the end. I'll explore Hamad Airport in that video a bit too. Rumor has it there's an indoor forest here to explore, so I'm excited to check that out. And if you're still here, you're most welcome to subscribe. I've got lots of exciting trips coming up, and it would be great to have you along for the ride. Taxiing over to our gate, you get a feel for the size of this airport. We pull up to the gate about 30 minutes behind schedule, so the flight ended up being right around 12 hours. I'm thinking the turbulence along the way likely contributed to that slight delay. Overall, great flight. The quality of service, the array of entertainment options, and the way that they break things up with periodic meals and snacks and drinks, it all really helped the long flight breeze by. And the seat was sufficiently comfortable for a long-haul flight. Crew were nice and professional. And while there were some food items that I would suggest they switch out, most of the food on offer was good to excellent for someone who enjoys a nice variety of international dishes. I'll leave you with some great architecture on arrival at Doha, and I hope you'll join me for my next flight up to Baghdad.